Hi, boys and girls. We are now reading the story for lesson 26 called A Green Man Visits Nancy. Who remembers who are some of the characters in our story? Good. We have Nancy, her friend Sally, and I think we have, whose mom was there? Was it Nancy's mom? Let's take a look. Let's follow along as we read our story. Nancy had just said some words that she had heard on the CD. All at once, the world began to spin around and around. Then Sally started to grow bigger, bigger, and bigger. Sally wasn't the only thing that began to grow. The jump rope that Sally was holding began to get larger. Sally's voice boomed out, "Oh, what's wrong? Oh, what's wrong?" The world was turning and spinning, and things were getting larger and larger. Now Nancy was no taller than the grass next to the sidewalk. Sally was looking down at Nancy. "Oh, Nancy, what's wrong? You're just a little tiny thing. I'll get somebody to help." Sally jumped her jump rope and ran away. Each step that Sally took shook the ground. Nancy looked around. She was too afraid to cry, and besides, it wouldn't do any good. There was nobody around to treat her like a baby. An ant came running along the sidewalk. When Nancy looked at the size of the ant, she knew she had grown even smaller. To her, the ant was the size of a horse. The ant looked very mean, with its round, shiny head and 6 running legs. Nancy was so afraid that she screamed, but her voice did not sound like it should. Her voice had become smaller as she grew smaller. Now her voice was so small that it sounded like a little squeak. She couldn't hear her voice 5 meters away. "Squeak!" she screamed. At that moment, a voice behind her said, "Go away, ant!" The ant turned and ran off down the sidewalk. Nancy turned around and saw a little green man, taller than she was. "Greetings," the man said. "I am the one who made the CD." Boys and girls, do you remember what the CD said? Let's see. "Hello," Nancy said slowly. Then she said, "Why did you give me that funny CD?" The little man said, "You didn't want anybody to call you a big girl, and you got your wish. Nobody could call you tiny thing like a big girl." "I guess you're right," Nancy said, "but I really didn't want to be this little. I am so little now that—" Now, the green man said, "you should be very, very happy. Even if you grow 2 times the size you are now, you'll be smaller than the blue fly. Even if you grow 20 times the size you are now, you'll be smaller than a mouse. So you should be very glad." "Well, I don't. I'll walk you to your house with you. Then I must go," the green man said. "Don't stay outside too long. There are cats and rats and loads of toads that love to eat little things your size." More next time. Boys and girls, would you like to get that small? Smaller than an ant? Like, what would be some of the pluses or positives to be that tiny? I don't know if I would want to ever be that small. It makes me think of a movie called Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Have you ever seen that before? That's an older movie. All right, boys and girls, go ahead and click off. Click on the worksheet to submit. Take care, and I will talk to you soon.